So we're still same day, but I realised something. So at the moment we're up 15 pence on this trade which I invested in. Now, you can see here, purple is where I've set, or I've taken note of lines of resistance, and red is where, wait, no, other way around. So red's where I've set lines of resistance to be, or from what I've observed, and then purple is where I can see that there's a level of support. Now, I did a little bit of research off camera, and I sort of found out that with this whole sort of situation that I was looking at before, with the moving average crossover strategy, I did a bit of YouTubing, just had a look at what was best and whatever, and it turns out that there are, well, people reckon that there are better ways. And so I've had a brief look into the idea of having a look at your resistance and your resistance at the top and your support lines at the bottom, and you can then generally tell where a stock's going to go based on the fact that it probably won't go above a certain amount, it probably won't go below a certain amount. Now, I put £5 in this investment because I put £10 on the account just to start off with. The other 90 will follow. But I just thought, if I'm only going to be making small trades in the first place, then there's no sense in taking other money out of my account that I could be using to buy, food. Anyway, so I put £5 on this trade. Is pounds to dollars. And you can see here, so I'm trying to learn from basically my trade. So I set the take profits at 31 pence a profit, which is at 1.249. So 1.249, that's like somewhere along, well, you can see where my take profit line is. Sorry, it's here. So that is where I've got my take profits. Now, my reasoning for doing that was because I obviously wanted it to be below the line of my lowest line of resistance, and you can see where I bought it in here. It was just above this line of support here, and so basically I've got the line of what I bought in above the line of support, and I'm looking to sell at as high a possible price. I'm sort of just sat here commentating while this sort of fluctuates a bit, because it's been fluctuating all day. So while I do that, I'm going to talk about why I set my stop loss at 55 pence. So here is, well, my stop loss is down here. And my reasoning for that is I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and from what I gathered, there are a lot of people that go, right, okay, I'm going to set my bottom, like my line of support, like I can observe where that is, whatever, and then they'll set their stop loss at their line of support, and then they'll go, right, okay, well, that's, where it's going to go to, and then I'll be fine because it won't go below there, or if it does, that's where I stop my losses and I'm fine. But something that was pointed out is that this is not just a line, this is like an area, it's a range. Like I've seen people draw rectangles on there instead of lines to try and sort of highlight that, which we could probably do just here with a rectangle. It's a range here, or something like that, where it fluctuates within this range here. You can see this point here, you can see these points here probably go into it, just if it wasn't so highlighted. I'm going to get rid of that now because I don't need it there, but you understand the point, that it's a range. Now, given that, it could potentially drop just underneath the stop profits, or the line of support. And so I've seen a strategy where you can bring up this average true range, and essentially you can take the value of this, which it says 0.00166 at the moment, and you can place that underneath your line of support, or place your stop loss that amount of points under your line of support, and then that should provide you with something. So it's very unlikely that it's going to go below your stop loss at that point. But anyway, basically I was sort of contemplating, what do I do? Well, like, at what point, there were two questions that I've sort of realized. One is, when do I decide to take profit? Because this hasn't been here. Like, it got just over halfway here, but I obviously you can see on the graph there hasn't been a spike yet, and so logic dictates to wait. And this is what I've been acting on, because I was speaking to Will, and he said 3%, or well, it was up 21 pence from £5, so that's over 4%. Like, that's a good increase, right? Which I don't disagree with. It is a good increase. It would have been brilliant if I'd have taken it out there. But there was something on here that I saw, and I'm thinking it's actually worthwhile. Here, look, I mentioned that controlling your emotions while investing is important, and it's essential to not get swayed by market noises and stick to your investment plan. And basically what I took from that when I was reading through this was, my plan is, I'm expecting the stock to reach a point where it's above this take profits here. And so regardless of how I feel, because 21 pence from £5 investment isn't bad going. Like, obviously it's no thousands of percentages that people have got on Bitcoin and AMC and GameStop and whatever, but it's not a bad, like, for day trading. I don't think it's bad. I think if I could consistently earn 4% a day, and I was consistently investing £1,000 a day, for example, and I was confident that I'd always get my 4%, that's £40 a day. That's, granted, it's not Wall Street levels of money, but £40 a day to be earned just like on the side, and this would have been over the space of maybe an hour, a couple of hours, so that's above minimum wage. You could live on that. And so I'm thinking, if I can start out on 4%, then I can always refine my methods and look up better methods in the future. And so I thought 4%'s all right. So I've sort of been waiting for it to go back up to this point, but it sort of hasn't yet. And so it's just a case of waiting on this stock. So that was one of the questions. One of the questions was, at what point do I sell? Now, the second question I was wondering about is not at what price to come out of the trade at, but how long do I leave it before I just accept it's probably not going to go above this point or below this point? Because as you can see in this period here, it's gone up and down. Like you can see at the top of the wick and the tails of this candlestick chart, that it's sort of just fluctuated from 9 a.m. till nearly 5 p.m. and it's just stayed within this range. Now, as I mentioned previously, I'm relatively inexperienced, so I don't know if this is regular for currencies. This is also my first time trading on CFD, which I believe stands for contract for difference. I may be wrong on that, but I will double check. But I don't know if basically because of that, because I've been investing on the Trading 212 Invest or the ISA even, I haven't been able to trade currencies before. So I'm sort of trying to learn about currencies and trying to learn how the markets work. I don't know the proper terminology, by the way, but how I see it, I'm actually going to get up paint here just to draw what I'm sort of saying. So say we've got a green candle, right? We've got like this bit of the candle, and then we've got an up and a down. Now, what I understand is this bit here is the absolute lowest. In this period of time of the candle, that is horrific. I'm getting rid of that circle. Right, so that point right at the bottom here is the lowest point that it reaches at all. This point here is the highest point that it reaches at all in the period of time that this candle represents. And then here is, so on a green one, this will be the point that it starts at, and this will be the point that it ends at. It's a lowercase e. And then on a red one, it's the same thing, except for the fact that the start and the end are flipped. So we've got, this is your high, the absolute highest that it was, and this is your low, as you'd expect. And then you've got, it started here, that's an S, believe it or not, and then here it ended. So that's my understanding of these. I see every candlestick as a representation of time, and for every period of time that a candlestick shows, this is what I'm referencing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up today's video. Obviously, if you guys have managed to find a way to enjoy my voice talking over this baffling graph, well, it's baffling to me. If you have managed to enjoy in any capacity or another, please feel free to share with your friends, whether it's to, try to educate them or simply just to laugh at the dude wearing the headset. if you could also leave a like, that would be brilliant. Subscribe if you want. You know, just anything that you can do to support the channel. Leave a comment on any of the different topics that I mentioned throughout this video. That would be greatly appreciated, because I am just looking to learn. Any help that you can offer would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, aside from that, I hope that you guys have somehow managed to take away something from this. And yeah, I hope you have a fun time trading and enjoy. Have fun.